creating a line art illustration in Illustrator and Photoshop. In other words, I have this image right here, and I would love to be able to give this to somebody as a coloring book, like a little kid. They would deeply enjoy it. There's so many little details here. So what I'm going to do is copy this image. Well, actually, let's save image as. I'm going to save it onto my desktop. And I've done this before already. So I'm just going to go open that photo. Here I'm looking for Photoshop. I'm going to open, and I'll open that from the desktop. Sometimes with really large images like this, by the way, when I did an image search for this, it is 4288. So I went to extra large images. This is in the 10 megapixel range here in Google. All right, so let's work this out. First off, I want to be able to have this kid color in the image. So I have to take away all color, right? I'm going to make a duplicate copy of this, hide the original, and the first thing I'm going to do is get rid of red, since it's the biggest color here. I'm going to go into black and white. I'm going to steal all the red. And I'm going to look for any other color I can to get rid of. What I'm looking for is these little lines to appear, but a lot of the grays to go away. Okay, there we go. So this is what I have now. If I shut this off or turn it back on, you can see that all the reds have magically gone away. I would take some time to actually cut it out from the background, but that's okay. Just know that that's one of the things I would probably do if I was doing this as a professional piece for a student or a kid, is take out the boring background. But for right now, let's concentrate only on the truck. What I'm going to do here is take this and go into image adjustment levels. I'm just going to kill some of these dead pixels and try to get some of this detail that's in this tire. Okay, so now I can see all these little details in the tire. I'm going to hit OK. Then I'm going to duplicate this and go image adjustment invert. I'm going to set this on color dodge. And then I'm going to go filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Okay, and I'm going to just raise this up until I get some of this detail back. There we go. So now I got some more detail. Then I'm going to do a threshold on top of this. I like doing this way though. I like going to the yin yang and going to threshold. And then raise the threshold level. Now I'm going to get to the point where it looks ugly. That's okay. And then I'm going to go to the move tool. Then the marquee tool. Edit. Copy, merge, edit, paste. And then I'm going to get this. A lot better. Look at all those little details. If I was a kid, I'd love that. Okay, let me uncheck this and show you the difference between the two. Alright, again, because it's part of the background, you can see that it's a little bit busy. It would be hard to distinguish, what is foreground and what is background here. So just know that I would probably cut it out from the background. Let's bring this into Illustrator. Let's go Edit, Copy Merge, and bring it right into Illustrator on a File, New, and this time I'm going to choose Landscape and Letter and paste this in. Okay, I'll hold Shift with the Move tool and just get this to be fitting on an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And then I'm going to live trace this. It's going to say it's going to take a really long time. That's all right. Patient. Now this is going to improve it just a little bit, but really it's already high res. So tracing it out just means I can make it really, really big if I wanted to. You want to have fun with a kid, print out a coloring book image that's 25 by 35 on heavy cardstock. Oh yeah, coloring for hours. So there we go. I got all these great little pieces. Now here's how you improve it. In Photoshop, if you take the time to kind of repair some of this stuff, see how there's a fire extinguisher here, but I'm not sure where it's at or how it works. Well, a lot of times what I'll do is take and hide everything except for the last one. The last one I'm going to keep. This one I'm going to take and lower the opacity down on it. Okay. Then what I do is take a brush with 100% opacity, hard edge, absolutely hard edge, and I'll go in and try to recapture some of this stuff. I can also set this to multiply, which seems to be a little bit better sometimes, and with a higher opacity. Now I can see what is missing as far as the illustration is concerned. I can go in and start repair on some of these little tiny parts. So you're not going to get everything with the actual live trace or anything with just filters or anything like that. You have to go in and kind of readdress where items that were colored stood out next to items that are colored with no black shadows. So that's what this is right here. It was a colored item next to a colored item with no shadows. And you can see when I get everything done, I turn it back to normal. Go to 100%. I now have those items. Okay. Don't forget you gotta just kind of touch it up using common sense of paint here in these areas. There's a second option. You can go into the pencil tool and not worry about color whatsoever. This is another really nice option. So when I'm recapturing elements, let's see here. What's a good, oh yeah, right here. These little spigots or valves. So I'm going to be using black here. Just kind of recapture these. Now if I'm using the pencil tool, it's not using any color whatsoever. It's just on black. So when I turn this back to 100% opacity, you can see now I can really go in and kind of readdress what these items are before I live trace them. All right, so that's my workflow for making very detailed coloring book images. Hope you enjoyed. On to the next video.